Looks like we are live, right? Still not yet?
Still not for me. When I check into,
Looks like we are live.
yeah, I think we are officially live now.
Still not yet? Yeah, we are live. Um,
Okay, okay. I think we just need to get started.
yes, please.
Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I think hey everyone. So I think I'm so excited now. We have been working really hard in the last 2 months to finally we release this new version, and we have a lot of questions coming up, and we will talk answer each of them in this live stream. But before we go into those questions, I think let's walk through every update. Obviously, we have the update in the workflow builder that we shared in the last webinar, but there are other things besides just the workflow builder, and let's talk about it today.
Yes. So the first update that we have made for MindPal compared to our V2 is we just added 6 new advanced nodes for your AI multi-agent workflows. So before V3, on V2, you are able to connect multiple AI agents into a seamless workflow. And you can also add human in the loop capability by adding human input steps anywhere you see fit across the workflow. But we observed that there are many cases and use cases that require more advanced AI agent working mechanisms. That's why we have just added 6 new advanced nodes in this case, including evaluator, optimizer node, loop, orchestrator, worker, subflow, router, and gate. Tuấn, can you quickly walk us through what these nodes are?
Yeah, so before I walk through, let's recall a little bit of why we add those things on top of the human input and the agent like the previous version. And the reason is that one of the limitation of the previous version of MyPower is that the only mechanism of agent working together is in the linear and cascade style. And the way it works is that some agent do something, passing the data to next agent in the linear interface. But the scenario when we try to replicate the business process into the workflow is not always simple like that. Because like human, human can work in order in a kind of assembly line, but for more advanced and complicated process, we as human we work in a more advanced way, and those things are, uh, uh, for example, for the loop node, for example, in the MyPow previous version, if you have some workflow to produce an ebook, for example, and an ebook, you can have a step to generate a list of chapter and subchapter, for example. And if you want the next step to produce every single content in the subchapter, you will need to manually create all the agents to produce the content in each chapter. But the problem is that you cannot predict ahead how many chapters and subchapters you will have in a workflow. And even if you force the outline agent to force that it should be only 20 chapter or only 5 chapter, it is not flexible to fit with the real life scenario when we want to create ebook. And it's just an use case why we have the loop node. And in general, we have added 6 new workflow, and it's categorized into two type of node. One time is the evaluator optimizer, the loop, and the orchestrator worker. These are the advanced nodes that help you configure those agents work together in a more advanced dynamic than the previous linear and cascade style. For the evaluator optimizer, there will be one agent doing something and another agent to give feedback and to criticize the work of that agent based on a set of criteria that you can define. And the executor agent is will need to iterate based on the feedback until the evaluator agent said that is okay, you pass, and that is the way the output will be improved significantly when they criticize the work of each other like that. And the loop node, as I mentioned with the ebook creation use case before, you can let one agent to work on a list of items. And you can define the list of items. What will be the list of items? It could be the output of the previous step or some human input. And you divide into a list and you ask an agent to walk through every item on the list and do something for you. And the final thing in the new mechanism is the orchestrator worker node, where the idea is that there are a lot of use case in practice where you don't actually know what kind of step will be needed in every single case because it might be very complicated, but you just know the principle and you just have a list of workers. So for example, in a normal company, there will be no way that we will work the same kind of task every day. But you have a CEO and a list of employees. And the idea for the orchestrator worker is that we have a kind of master agent. He knows the principle, and we train him to know the principle of doing that kind of task. And we assign to him a list of worker or his employee who can be assigned a task to do. And in the orchestrator worker, we give it the principle and our expected outcome. And the orchestrator agent, it will break down and assign a to-do list and assign each of the item and to-do list to a worker. And those workers, each of them will do their job and then to try to finally get the thing we want. That is the idea of the orchestrator worker here. And with the three new nodes, we adding more advanced capability compared with the simple assembly line like before. We literally call the workflow the assembly when we first launched because it is just an assembly line. But now it is a truly an AI workforce where we have different process, and that is the one part. And actually, we have another part of new node, which is the subflow, the router, and the gate. And these things are adding more control and flexibility when you build the workflow. And let's talk about the gate first because it is the most the simplest node here. So the gate is a kind of node where you can define some logic, and if the workflow don't meet that logic, it will stop the workflow immediately. And there are many use cases. For example, if you have a very big workflow and you share the workflow to the audience, and a lot of time there will be someone try to abuse you or someone just not fit with the purpose of the workflow, and you will want some kind of qualification before the workflow running and consume a ton of credit for you. That is one thing, because if you're running a 100 process and each of the process powered by O1, it will probably cost you a few bucks And a few bucks still will be small, but if you have thousands of audience, it will be a few grand for you. So it will be not good, and the gate node will prevent it happen. It will qualify the customer or the audience or the content of something before allowing the workflow to continue. And the router node is is actually the most demand type of node on my cloud for so long time. The router, all the conditional logic. So basically, router will allow you to build a node, and after that, the workflow can go into different paths based on some decision logic that you want. For example, let's take a customer support workflow. For example, you may have the support pipeline very different if the query is for the product question, or for the billing or refund question, or the maybe the sale question, or some kind of other question. And you may want to have a kind of agent or kind of node that can routing the request into the right path for you. And the router node on my part will help you to do that. And there will be more workflow. Or for example, when you're building content, there will be a lot of type of content. We may have the content for demand generation. We have the content for demand capture, for example, like that. And the router can decide which path the workflow should follow on based on what it takes from the previous step. And the last thing is the thing that probably no one has think about it before. But personally, I'm most excited with this thing we call the subflow. The subflow is the node that allows you to use a workflow inside another workflow. And it means that you can build a workflow and it will become a function that could be run in other workflow. And you can abstract those things. And with the subflow, you can build a pretty scalable workflow, because, for example, when you try to build a 200-step workflow, you actually can divide them into 10 subflow, and each subflow have 20 steps, and you can reuse those workflow into other workflows you can build later as well. And it will help you build a scalable system. And I have been talking in every webinar that the subflow is a thing that will help you build a factory of AI agent. Previously, we are a kind of building a list of single assembly line of agent, but now you can finally build the factory of these agents working together seamlessly.
Thank you so much, Tuấn. That was a very helpful walkthrough. And with this new AI workflow builder, you would be able to build advanced workflows like this webinar marketing content generation workflow that I'm showing you on my screen. Can you guys see it? Can you see it?
I think you are screen sharing. We only can see the top, not seeing the workflow.
The banner.
Yeah. I think you might need to reshare it.
Yes. Sorry for that. How about now?
Okay.
Yeah. So with this new workflow builder, with all 6 new nodes that we have just added, it means that you are now able to implement advanced use cases such as this one. So this is the webinar marketing content generator workflow that I just built, and it will take in the webinar recording. Then I have a single agent to brainstorm 3 marketing angles to promote the webinar. So this is very similar to V2. But if you look at the next steps, you will see that in the next step, I have a loop node to loop through each marketing angle generated in the first step and generate 3 content ideas for each of them. And then all of these 9 content ideas will be passed on to the next step, which is an orchestrator worker node, so that it can orchestrate a list of worker agents. In this case, are my 3 content creator agents that I have built and trained and have been using for months to write each of the content ideas for each channel. So that means the Twitter for 9 content ideas that I have generated in the previous step, each of those content ideas will have a Twitter post, a LinkedIn post, and a blog post, and all reference the original webinar content recording so that it can produce meaningful content for me. So let's run this workflow to see it in action. Okay, so for, let's say we can put some webinar recording. I would take an example YouTube video on our channel here, and MindPal will learn the recording first before it continue and kickstart the workflow. I have my ad angle brainstormer to generate 3 unique marketing angles to promote the webinar, like transform conversations to content goal, maximize content reach, and time saver for content creators. And for each of these content angles, you can see that my content strategist is generating unique content ideas for each of those, and it covers like different types of content here. And then similar for the second marketing angle and the last marketing angle too. And then I will pass all of these content ideas, 9 ideas in total, to the next step, which is the orchestrator worker node here, to write each content idea for each of the 3 channels I have provided. So following this process, you will get like, I think, a month worth of content within just minutes. And it's so elegant, yet so much more powerful than the V2 in this case. And yeah, so I encourage you all to go ahead to app.mypal.space and try out all the new notes to see how they actually work and how they can be useful for your specific cases. We also have a previous live stream where we dive deep into each of these notes, as well as sharing about some exciting use cases unlocked with the new workflow builder. So if you are interested in learning more about our new workflow builder, go to our YouTube channel in the live stream section and search for the MindPal V3 live demo live stream to take a closer look. In the coming days, we will also be releasing more tutorials and documentation for the workflow builder to help you maximize the value of it.
Yeah,
And
I literally build a workflow that I put in the sitemap of MindPal and the sitemap of the other AI tools, and I asked one agent to identify all the gap in the content based on the sitemap, and then it put all the gap into the loop node to literally build all the workflow ready, all the blog posts ready to publish in MindPal, and then we put a webhook after that to send the data to the database, and then we publish this instantly. And people have been asking me constantly asking me to make that workflow into a template, and we probably need to make a tutorial on how to make those things.
yeah, thank you for that. So can you share with us the next update here?
So beside just the workflow builder, we also make it more flexible when you configuring the human input type in the workflow. Previously, you can only select text or images or file or link URL, but now you can configure the number, the select document, and the true false values for the human input field. And in this time also, for example, in one document or images or URL field, you can upload multiple value or multiple file. For example, if I configure a variable in the human input to be a document, now I can select a lot of file in my computer into my Power Workflow, and all those things will be processed in our workflow system.
Yeah, to help you guys have a better understanding of what to expect, let me quickly walk you through an example workflow I have built that leverage a lot of the new improvements to our human input types. So this is a web page audit generator workflow I have built, and in the human input step, in the first position here, you can see that I'm adding two human input fields, screenshot and the URL of the web page that need the audit. And so in the past, we have supported the image, link, document, and text files. But this time, you can see that we have added a checkbox type, a number type, and drop-down type as well, so that you can share the tool with others and foster a more usable experience for your user. And for each of these fields, you now have better control over how these fields should request the input from the user. In the past, you can only ask for one link per field or one document per field, but now you can actually control how many links you want to get from the user here. For document type, for example, you can also control the document types that you request from the user. So with all of these new improvements, I believe that your the workflows you build and share with your audience or clients would get a much better experience for your users.
Yeah.
And with that, let us go to the next update that we made to V3.
Yeah, I think this is a thing that we have been acknowledged for a very long time, that the UI of our iframe or the share publish workflow is suck. Is that right?
Yeah, you guys can share your honest thoughts in the comment and rate the old interface of our of your published AI workflow form. I know that some of you who have been frankly sharing your feedback with us have made a lot of suggestions on how we could improve our the form interface of your published AI workflows, and we have been listening to all of them and improve the form interface just like what you see on the screen right here. Let me pull up the a form builder on MindPal so that you can see how they look like right now. So this is an example workflow that I have built, and if you decided to share this workflow as a form to share with others with a public link or embed it on your website, now you have a dedicated space to customize the look and feel of your workflow now. And we have added support for the icon, the banner, as well as a dedicated copywriting section in the form of a Notion-like text editor like this, so that you can customize the copywriting to anything that you see fit. So it could be some instructions for the user on how they could use this workflow, or it could be more information about your business so that the visitors on your website can learn about your products and services too when they use this tool on your website. And this is how it would look like when you share the workflow with others. I personally really like it, especially the icon and the banner. In the case, it make the workflow more exciting and less plain like the V2. And they can paste, they can enter their information as usual. For example, and hit continue, and they will also receive the results for their AI workflow right in this space too. Yeah, so you can try building an AI workflow, publish it and as a form, and playing around with all of these new settings and see how it goes. Okay, so that's the third update that we have made to MindPal. The last update that we want to share in this case is better knowledge management for AI agents. Tuấn, can you quickly share with us about this?
Yeah, in this V3 version, we finally have the nested folder in MindPal knowledge source, and now you can previously the knowledge source on MindPal only had two levels. You can upload a file, a link or a voice or a text, plain text, and we convert into a text file, and you can only store it in directly in the master interface, or you can only create folder but the one level folder, and you move the file into the folder, but you cannot create the nested folder in the previous version. It means the folder inside another folder. And in this version, you can finally do that, and you can create any kind of nested folder that you want. So it will help you to manage the knowledge for the agent in a better way. And another thing, pretty small, but I think maybe important, is that previously, if you assign a folder to an agent, and when you add a new file to that folder, the new file will not be automatically updated in the agent knowledge source. But in this version, when you add a file or a folder, a new folder into a folder that is connected to an AI agent already, the knowledge part of the agent will be updated too, and it will be synced with the folder that it is connected to.
Yes, that's a very small but very important update, of course, because that's also one of the most requested features on MindPal. Let me show you a use case of this new feature. For example, I am building a MindPal AI workflow template recommender. Its purpose is to learn about all of the templates we have of our AI multi-agent workflows, and based on the user situation, it can recommend a short list of workflow templates that are most relevant to the user's needs. Now, the thing here is that our AI workflow template library will keep expanding. So I think every couple of days, we will add new templates to our library, and so how can we make sure the AI agents are always on, like, keep updated about the new templates most conveniently? Well, what I can do is that in the knowledge sources section right here, instead of adding individual pages of templates, I can group all of these templates, as you can see here, inside a folder. And I can just select that one single folder as a knowledge source for this agent. And any changes I made to this folder will affect this agent too. So if I added new templates, or if I remove deprecated templates out of this library, the agent will always have that updated knowledge about which templates it should read and refer to when talking with the users. This is small, but compared to V2, when you need to like assign individual pages to the knowledge sources, there's no way for you to conveniently maintain your knowledge base. So I'm sure this would make your life a lot more easier when it comes to maintaining and updating your AI agent. And with those are the 4 key updates we made to MindPal V3. And if you want to see them in action, definitely go to app.mindpal.space and experience all of them for yourself. Now, so what's next, Tuấn? Can you share a little bit for our users here?
Yeah, now we will go to the Q&A section, and I will ask you the question that everyone has been asking in our community and in the live chat here.
Yes, please.
Okay, so
before you jump into the questions, I would like to highlight that for new users, you can to celebrate the launch of our V3, we are offering you a discount code launch 30 that you can use at checkout for 30% off all plans. For existing users, there's nothing you will be able to work with your AI agents and workflows just fine, since we have helped migrated all your data. But we do have some important notes that we would like to share with you. So please check your inbox for our migration notes email. Yeah, so can you share with me the questions from the chat?
Okay, so let me ask a question one by one. So we have the first question about if we use a sharing or embedded code in our website for visitor to test the agent or workflow, is there any way for us to set the usage limit or the number of AI credit consumed so we can prevent it from being abused?
For your AI workflows, if you are sharing it as a form, we do have settings in the access and security section that allow you to set a rate limit for your the workflow. So you can set like the limit of requests for a certain interval of time to prevent abuse. You should also leverage some other features like restrict embedding on certain domains, for example, to prevent your workflow from being shared on websites that you don't like. So this would help with preventing abuse too. And for AI workflows that you are sharing with others inside a workspace on MindPal, you can actually set the limit of AI credits each user have for a month inside your workspace settings. So this would be very useful in case you want to share your AI workflows with your clients. or your customers, and you want to like have a limit on how many AI credits they can consume or which AI agents or workflows they can run within your workspace. So those are the two things you can consider in this case.
Yeah, and we have quite many questions about the control the number of uses in the number of AI credit in the agent and workflow when sharing with the customer inside our own workspace. So I think you may need to share screen and go to a workspace to show them how we can configure those configuration in a workspace.
Yeah, of course. Let me quickly pull up some one example workspace I have here and share with you. Okay, so here is a sample workspace I have. This is the workspace for the team of MindPal to work together. And in the in case you want to share the AI agents and workflows you have built with your team members or with your clients on MindPal, you can actually create a new team workspace here and invite your clients or your team members inside to use the AI agents and workflows you have built or to collaborate on AI agents and workflows together. And in this workspace, we have 3 member roles. As you can see here, the owner role would be able to do everything here, including setting up the workspace settings. The editor role can do everything like run and create and edit agents and workflows and assets, but they can only delete items that they created and they cannot change workspace settings. So this is perfect for those that you want to collaborate on AI agents and workflows together. But for those people who just need to run AI agents and workflows that you build for them, a user role would be enough. They will only have run access and cannot see or edit or create any any agents, workflows, or assets within your workspace. And for this user role, you can actually add an access control tag for the user to limit their agent access, workflow access, as well as AI credit limit per month. So for example, let's say if we have an intern access control tab that can only have access to our like just one example, one agent, MindPal AI workflow template recommender, or maybe this one and this one, and then only have access to this specific workflow and can only use 1,000 AI credits at most per month, I can create this access control tag and then add it to our intern here. And this intern, when they log into our workspace on MindPal, they will just see the 3 AI agents and workflows that I have granted access to them, and all of their activity will be restricted by this AI credit limit right here.
Yeah.
So I hope that gives you like an overview of how you can leverage our workspace settings for the purpose of sharing your AI workflows with your clients.
Yeah, and we also have some news that we are in the progress of building a more valuable feature for the workspace setting as well. We have the custom domain for the shared chatbot and the shared workflow, but we are working on making that option available on the workspace as well. So when the audience, the customer, or anyone who sign into your workspace on MindPal, they will see your domain name and your branding there.
Yeah,
Okay.
so excited for that. You know, right now, in a workspace on MyPal, you can customize the interface of it. So that include like you can remove MyPal title and logo. You can replace them with your own company name and your logo and select your theme color as well instead of the default purple color of MyPal. But that's the partial while labeling capability that you have right now. But we are working on the ability for you to customize the domain itself for your workspace. So in the future, you would be able to like have your workspace be located in a domain of your own, something like ai.yourcompany.com instead of app.mypal.space. So I couldn't wait for that and will keep you guys informed on it when it's live.
Yeah. So we move on to the next question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So there's question, can we train our own webinar creation model based on a persona? It could be a certain guy or principle or some characteristic.
That's a great idea. Actually, it's like a technique that some of the customers are using on MyPal too. I have witnessed they use this technique to build AI agents that have some personality or characteristics in their background to generate more human and interesting content. So what you can do is that you can build an AI agent for content creation, yes, but you can customize its background and its output settings, including the brand voice, to talk in a specific way or incorporate certain personalities that you like to deliver the content.
Yeah, yeah. And another question is that when will the Orama be added into MyPal?
uh yeah for right the new infrastructure of MyPal for V3 has enabled local LLMs like Olama to be added to. We don't have an exact release date yet, but we are looking to release it by the first quarter of 2025. Yeah, Tuấn, would you like to add anything here?
Yeah, I think you answered this already.
Okay, let's move to the next question.
Yeah, we have a question about what is the biggest workflow made up to date? I think we can have your answer and my answer to this question.
The biggest workflow that I have seen.
Yeah, I think that.
I have seen many actually, and I think there are many variations of what of the big term here. So there are workflows that I have seen with a lot of steps. If that's how you define big. The most recent workflow that I have seen is one with 88 steps, I think, and that's like a workflow that someone has built to help their clients fill a certain form in their niche, and that has like 84 different sections or something like that, but with some other analysis and guidance steps around. So that is like one of the biggest workflows that I have seen. But there are also other workflows that are pretty elegant in its setup. So it just includes like I think 10 or 20 steps, for example. But what I found really impressive is the way the people set up the agents. So for each of the workflow steps will be executed by an AI agent. And although the workflow itself is not that big, that the person actually has invested a lot of time to fine tune each of the AI agent they use for the workflow. And if you look at the setup, you will see how thorough and specific and like I would say investing the people are at building up their AI workforce. So yeah. And that use case was I seen this was a blog post generator machine that someone has built that is fine-tuned tailored to their specific industry and their specific business too. So they have their very unique way of producing content that involve multiple tools and references to come up with really like special content to post on their website.
Yeah, I think I in some way I agree with you that if we just define biggest workflow, like we count the number of steps, is I have seen something 200 and 300 steps already. I saw it by accident that I took a call when we encounter an issue with the API and that guy shared the screen and he scrolled the screen for me to show the workflow, but that is endless scrolling. So I asked him how many exactly how many steps in this workflow, and I remember it's a few hundred steps, and he seemed to continue adding the step in the workflow. But you are right. Sometimes people adding many steps, but if you have a good model like Claude 3.5 or one, and you have a good prompt and a proper knowledge source training. I mean proper here that it is relevant knowledge source and it is well tuned for that agent. It can produce actually the equivalent output quality compared with 4 or 5 steps in the workflow. And the most impressive workflow, I call impressive because we should evaluate the impact, is that a workflow by an agency for long form content, that he build a workflow where he utilize every model possible, Claude 2.5 Sonnet, Claude, Haiku, Gemini, GPT, Llama to each of them brainstorm every possible idea and angle and produce the idea from that. And then there will be some agent also trying different model to evaluate and select the right angle to develop the content later. And he constantly make money with that workflow. And I think that is the most impressive. Recently, I also see the trend that people are building their AI agent system on MindPal, where they dump their entire business operation normally into MindPal. And but the limitation in the previous version is that we do not have a subflow. So it's very hard to build and maintain 100-step workflow. But we hope that in the new version with the subflow and also with the loop and the orchestrator worker, we will have a much more elegant workflow to be built. So we don't need 100 steps. We only need 2 loop nodes. So if one loop node produce 10 output and the next loop node produce 10 output, and we combine every item in those 10 item in each loop node, we will have 100 item, and it will be equivalent to 100-step workflow, but it only need 3 steps in the new version.
Yes, I completely agree. I believe that with the new version 3 out now, and when people, our customers, have enough time to get familiar with these nodes, they will be able to build even more impressive workflows than what we have seen in the last version. Because some of the ideas I have I have heard and talked to people, and they share with me about what they are building with the V3 now. I just by hearing them, I have already seen how ambitious and powerful these systems are. I haven't seen them in action yet. I haven't seen the actual system yet, but some people have been sharing with me about, for example, building an entire campaign generator workflow on MindPal that uses the loop and orchestrator worker node to generate a lot of content ideas and generate all the content for different channels they have. Or another client sharing about building some sort of a AI system where they can connect multiple workflows into one workflow to execute a very sophisticated process. And because now you have the ability to add like giant workflows inside a bigger workflow, you can actually just share that one parent workflow and your user will have access to all the workflows you have. And this is especially useful in cases where you can help the user navigate to the right workflow. For example, your user just enter a query that they have, and you can have the router node to route the user to the correct workflow that they can use, and that would save time for them. That would make the experience of using the AI agents and workflows more intuitive too, because they don't have to switch between different workflows in order to execute the query. So yeah, definitely, I believe more impressive use cases of MindPal are coming very soon.
Yeah, definitely. We will see more impressive use case, and uh, and we will make more videos on how we build those things too. And we have some more question. Have MyPow have a plan to generate image or voice in the workflow? I think the quick answer is yes. It's yes already. You can use the tool feature in agent and connect the agent to the tool to generate the image, or connect the agent to 11 Lab API or Cartesia API to generate the voice in the workflow and in the chatbot too.
Yeah, let me share with you an example of leveraging this feature on MyPal here. So, yeah, so it's essentially, yeah, I think I couldn't find that to share with you guys quickly, but essentially on MyPal, inside your AI agent, you can actually connect tools to the AI agent. And there are tools that allow you to generate images. There are tools that allow you to generate audio. You can even connect custom tools to MyPal too. For example, if you have very specific preferences about which app to use to generate these things, you can create a custom API tool on MyPal to do that. We have a separate video that dives deeper into how you can set up a custom API tool. So you can definitely check that out. And now with the new workflow builder, you can, and with the ability for your AI agents to use tools, you would be able to do things like, for example, you generate a blog post and you have your agent may decide that it will need 5 different illustrations to be incorporated in that blog post as visualization, and you can call DALL-E 3 or Flux or Recraft to generate each of those images. So that's the power of this new workflow builder when used in combination with tools.
Yeah, and you actually have the video on building OpenAI deep research on MindPal, and in that video you use the multiple tools, right? Tabili research, ESA research tools, and genai research tool.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I think I should take an example, pull up an example here for you to see it directly.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second. So for this is an example. This is the deep research workflow I have built a couple of days ago that essentially replicated OpenAI deep research agent with MindPal V3, and essentially it taking the user query. This is the same query OpenAI used in one of its demos. It asks some clarification questions to understand what the user needs. The user can provide additional information. Then I have my search query generator to suggest search queries to use in order to answer the question. And then I have a performing online search that will loop through each of these search queries generated from the last step and use Tabili and Gina search tool to get the results. And did you notice that the AI agent actually use both tools in this case? So this is also one of the interesting capabilities of V3. In the last version, the AI agent can only use one tool at a time. But in this new version, the AI agent, like based on your instruction, the AI agent can actually use multiple tools or use one tool multiple times. So in this case, in the online researcher, I actually you can actually ask some instruction like you need to use both Tabili and Gina, or break down the search into multiple queries if needed to instruct the user about how to use the tool. And then they will do this for every single query here. And in this version, you can also have a closer look into the query that the agent used to search or to execute the tool, as well as the raw result returning from the tool too. So this is useful in case you want to like double check the agent's answer. And then with all of these online research search results ready, the agent analyzes search results to identify only the relevant information before generating a final report for that. So yeah, that's how you can use tools in combination with the new nodes in Workflow Builder V3.
Yeah, yeah. And the powerful thing here is that you can connect with any kind of API out there, and you can connect that API to the agent, and the agent will learn how to use that API. And the use case will be endless here because you can customize at the API level.
Yes.
We have another question, and I think this will be the last question. Is that do the agent come with memory?
I think you can answer this question, Tuấn.
Yeah, we have the feature on MindPal that allows you to create the memory for the agent in the advanced setting of the agent. And when you go into MindPal agent tab, and then you ask agent something to do, and then if you find the response is good, you can save that response to the agent memory. And later on, when the agent generates the new response, it will look at that sample good response to provide the response for you.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I think we still have one last question. Can you read it out, Tuấn?
Let me take it. We have a question about how do we form an agent to create peace and balance. I think I do not very clearly understand the question.
I think if I understand the question correctly, essentially the question is about how to like let a workflow to run a whole event or something like that. Use marketing combined with marketing. I think this if your question is about how to set up like a whole system to run everything, every function in an organization or an event, for example, can we do that? I think the answer is yes, if you have if you have clarity about how you can train the AI agent to do the process. So one advice I always give to users when they build the AI agents and workflows is that they should like have a very clear idea of what kind of system they want to build. And after they have that clarity, like about the processes included, the input for each process, the expected output for each process, the steps that to take to go from input to output, the tools needed or the knowledge sources needed, for example, they would be able to turn that into a workflow on MindPal very easily, because we actually have a generate workflow with AI feature where you can just describe your process in plain text, and MindPal will help set up the initial workflow for you. So the quality of the workflow generated would depend a lot on the instruction and your description of the process too. So the more the clearer you are at describing the process, the better the an AI would be able to come up with a workflow that best fit your needs. So yes, if you have that clarity, I'm sure you can build any system that you can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think we have covered all of the questions for today. Guys, please, if you have any other questions, don't forget that we actually have a support email at support@mindpal.io, where you can send us any questions, concerns, or support requests you have, and we will support you within 48 hours. We also have a Facebook group, MindPal Hub, here that you can join and talk to other users, share ideas, share insights, tips, or ask for feedback and support from other pro users of MindPal too. I think that's a wrap for today's webinar about a live review of MindPal V3, that we have covered the four key improvements that we made to V3. Of course, aside from these improvements, we also made a lot of like tiny improvements throughout the system to make it faster and more robust for you. So make sure to go to app.mindpal.space to try all of these new features. And if you are new to MindPal, make sure to leverage our discount code launch 30 as well to get 30% off all of these plans for a limited time. Yeah, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you around soon. We will be releasing more videos and live streams in the upcoming weeks about this new version, so make sure to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.